Okay, so this is the how to get the coordinate of a point reflected over the vertical line. I'm not going to ask you the horizontal line. Okay, this is just the vertical line one. Okay, so let's see. Here is grid. So this is 0. This is 0. This is well, I'm sorry. This is y. Okay, this is x, and this is 0, 0. Okay, and let's say, let's do both, the positive and negative. So you have to reflect over, let's say, x equal 4. Okay, now I show you two different ways. Let's say the x is here. Let's make it a little bit more like here. Okay, now I'm intentionally not using the grid paper so you don't count, you just see how these things work. Okay, so in this case x is less than 4 but it's positive. Okay, and I'm gonna do another one over here that is x is greater than 4, and then see how representation would be different, but you get the same equation. So this distance right here from 0 to 4 is 4, right? Because this is 4. Remember, the coordinate is the distance from 0, right? Coordinate, this coordinate, x coordinate of 4, is the distance from 0, okay? You remember that. So when we are trying to get to the coordinate, we are trying to get the distance from 0 to the point that we are looking at, okay? So this distance right here should be 4, because the coordinate of this line, x coordinate, is 4. This distance is 4, right? And this distance right here, this is x. Now I'm not going to do anything about y, because y is not going to change. We are only looking for x, because y is going to stay at y, because this is a horizontal mode, right? So this distance right here is x. So this distance here is 4, right? Because it's the this distance is from 0. These are the coordinate that would give you the distance, okay? So this distance right here from the point x to the line x equal 4, this distance should be the difference between this and this, right? So this distance is x 4 minus x, not x minus 4. 4 minus x. X minus 4, you do this minus 4, you're going to go over here, right? So this distance is 4 minus x. Other way to do it is, this coordinate is 4, right? This coordinate right here, the x coordinate is 4, and this coordinate is x, right? So you can do this. Square root of, then you don't have to worry about the, well, let's do it this way. The 4 minus x, the x2 minus x1. 4 minus x squared. And y doesn't change, so this is 0 squared, right? That's a distance formula. So this is 4 minus x squared, but that's a square root, so this is 4 minus x. You get the same thing, okay? It's a distance formula. But more intuitively, this is 4 and this is x, so this is 4 minus x, right? So if you reflect this point over x equal 4, it's going to go over here, right? You have to be the same distance to the reflection line to the other side. So this distance right here should also be 4 minus x, because this distance right here and this distance have to equal for this to be a reflection line. So this is x1 right here, right? That's the reflected point. So the distance right here is 4 minus x, and distance here is 4 minus x. So this whole distance right here from here to x2, from here to x2 right here, should be 4 minus x plus 4 minus x, or 8 minus 2x, right? 4 minus x plus 4 minus x, 8 minus 2x. This whole distance is 8 minus 2x right here. Okay, so now we get the distance from x to x dash, where it was reflected. But that's a distance from here to here. We want the distance from 0, because then it's a coordinate. The coordinate is the distance to the point from 0, right? So to make this distance into the distance from 0, you have to add this part, which is x. So you add x. So the coordinate of this point from 0 Coordinate of this point is the distance to this point from 0. Should be 8 minus x. And the y doesn't change, so y, this is the coordinate of the point reflected over x equal 4. Okay, now on the test, I am going to ask you to draw this diagram, and you have to indicate each distance and then show what you did to get to the coordinate. Okay, I'm not going to give you a full credit by just plugging into the formula, which is the minus x times 2 times plus 2 times the value of line. So that's, see, it's minus x times 2 times the value of line. That's what you get no matter where the line is. But I'm not going to give you full credit if you just plug into the formula. Okay, so now I'm going to do when the point's over here. Okay, so here's the same grid, and x equal 4. This is 0, 0, and point is over here right now. Okay, so now if you reflect this over here, it's going to go here, right? And see how would you represent if the points are over here. I just want you to see that the representation will be different, but you get the same equation. Okay, so this is x now. So this whole distance right here from 0, x equals 0 to x equals x, this distance is x. Okay, now this distance is x. And this is x equals 4. So this distance right here is 4. Right? This whole distance is x, and this distance is 4. You see that? So this distance right here that we are looking at, the distance from x to the x equal 4, should be x minus 4. Right? X minus 4 will give you this. Right? And this right here is also x minus 4 because it should have the same distance from here to here and here to here. Right? So this whole distance right here is 2x minus 8. This distance right here. Okay? But we are looking for coordinate of this. This was x and now this is x dash. We are looking for coordinate of this. We don't want this whole thing. Right now the 2x minus 8. So this distance right here is 2x minus 8, but we don't want this. We want this distance right here. So how do we get this distance? Because this is the distance that it will give you the coordinate from 0 to x1. This is what we are looking for, right? So we know this. We also know this, right? The whole thing. What's the whole thing? Whole thing is x. And we know this. So how do we get this? We get x minus 2x minus 8, right? The x is the whole thing minus 2x minus 8. Make sure you put in a parenthesis, otherwise you're going to get the signs wrong. Right? You subtract from x this distance, then you get this distance. Then that's the coordinate of the new coordinate. So that's x minus 2x plus 8, which is minus x plus 8, which is the same thing. Minus x plus 8, minus x plus 8. Okay? So I am going to ask you on the test to show the point and then the distance representation, how to get this. Okay, now I'm going to do the negative now. Okay, so here is a grid. Oh, you don't need to show both, obviously. I just showed you both to show you how, depending on where you pick the points, the representation is different, but you get to the same answer, right? So this is like a third representation. If the line is negative, let's say x equal negative 3, okay? So I can see, okay? And then this is 0 right here. So you don't want to pick x here because an x is negative, and then that's not going to be easy for your brain. That's going to confuse you. So you want to pick somewhere here, okay? So this value is x right here, okay? So this distance you want to express in terms of x and negative 3. So this right here is x, right? And this right here, because this is negative 3, the distance should be 3. right? So this whole thing is x plus 3. So if you reflect this over this line, you have to go the same amount to the other side, x plus 3. Okay, so the distance from the x to the reflection point x dash, this whole thing should be x plus 3 times 2, right? Or x plus 3 plus x plus 3. So that's 2x plus 6. This whole thing is 2x plus 6. But I want the distance from 0. I want distance from 0, not the whole thing. So this distance, the whole thing, includes this part, which I don't need, because I just want this from here, 0, to over here, right? So I want to get rid of this from this distance. And this distance is x. So I'm going to subtract x from 2x plus 6, because this whole thing was 2x plus 6. I don't want this distance, I'm going to subtract it. Then I get x plus 6, right? But now that's the distance from 0 to x dash. That's the distance, right? It's show up in positive because distance is positive. But we want to turn this into coordinate. And this side of 0 is negative, right? So you have to put this in negative, which you get minus x minus 6. And it's still following the formula that is negative x plus 2 times the line value, which is minus 6. Minus 6, you get this. Again, I'm going to ask you to show the representation in a line that the distance expressed by the x and the number, and then show this equation, not just the coordinate in the formula, okay?